This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by the undisputed lightweight world champion Teofimo Lopez out here in sunny Las Vegas. Teofimo, how are you doing?
Oh man, I'm feeling like a champ, man. I feel great, and I'm very excited, man. I'm very excited for my upcoming fight, and it's going to be a big one.
Teofimo, as I said to you and I said to your dad just, I've had the pleasure of watching a number of fighters, world champions, up-and-comers, you name it, I've had the pleasure of seeing them train. You're right up there with regards to the commitment, the desire, just the extra kind of push that you've shown today. Talk to me about staying motivated ahead of a fight, which you are a heavy favourite in. He's only your mandatory, not one of the names which I imagine you wanted. Talk to me about how you continue to push yourself to these limits.
The whole thing really to push myself is self-motivation, self-discipline, and that's when you know yourself, then sky's the limit. Not even that though sometimes. So my whole thing is just pushing to that next level, trying to see what my limits are, and as we can see, man, it's unlimited. I love pushing myself. It's not training for the next guy that's in front of me. I'm training for the next me that will be there that night.
So the next you who's in front of you, do you see George Kambosos as that threat?
He won't be ready, and that's what I know and what I believe. He won't be ready, and he will know when the first round and that bell rings. He will feel it. My presence alone, my energy, and the whole thing is that he will get a taste of it and understand what I mean by all that. This ain't a game, At the end of the day, I know he's a young, hungry fighter that wants to come out there and try to take this throne that I have, but it just won't work.
Teofimo, talk to me about that. You talk about your presence and the auras of boxers. Canelo Alvarez, he has a presence. Yes. Tyson Fury, he has a presence. Do you feel like you're now establishing your own?
Absolutely, I feel like I am. I feel like, but they all paved the way for all of us. Tyson Fury, Canelo, Terrence Crawford. I mean, there's so many guys. Earl Spence. All those guys paved the way for me. The Charlo brothers. The list goes on and on. Especially all those guys that are remarkable fighters in the top 10 division and pound for pound. And those are the guys that it motivates me. But I want to be better. And it's no disrespect. This is competition and currency. At the end of the day, I want to be the best. And Canelo showed that his previous fight with Billy Joe Saunders, and now it's my turn to do it against someone like George Kambosos Jr.
Talk about George Kambosos. What are you expecting, and what should the fans expect from a pair of you when you are in the ring?
My whole thing is it's great, man. We're gonna have 25,000 at the moment in attendance, open in Miami, Florida. I'm going back to Miami. A lot of people don't know. I was more so raised there for 13 years in Florida. So I have a huge fan base and a home that I consider at Madison Square Garden. But now we're gonna take it back to those roots of Florida, and it's great, man. It's gonna be a great, phenomenal show. We're gonna have J-Lo, Metallica, J Balvin, Maluma. The list goes on and on, man. It's gonna be it's gonna be a greatest show.
With the fight itself, what are you expecting there?
For myself?
From George, what do you expect George to bring into the fight? How do you expect it to play out when the pair of you are in the ring?
I don't care what he does. I just need him there. That's all it is. At the end of the day, I just need that man in the other side of the ring, and the rest will be up to me to do. What I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have his face beat up my hands.
You mentioned the likes of J-Lo, J Balvin, and what have you will be there performing on the day. We've seen with Triller, they want to be entertainers, want to entertain the crowd. For you yourself now, you're undisputed champion, but how big will it be to have a night like that to boost your own profile amongst kind of more of a casual audience?
I think it gets me from superstar to mega superstar. I do believe that it'll be my first pay-per-view, and I'm looking forward to see the numbers afterwards. Just alone, we've seen Jake Paul get into the top 10 pay-per-view history, a YouTuber. I mean, this is someone that is actual person that dedicates his craft and has done it and is undisputed as a world champion and the youngest to do it in history. So my whole thing is just keeping that going and letting the youth follow that wave and let them know that as long as they keep this here mentally strong, they can do anything.
Teofimo, I saw your tweets when Triller won the purse bids, but just as we haven't had a chance to speak yet, when they won the purse bids, what went through your mind? They offered double what their next biggest competitor was, Matchroom.
My whole thing is like, what were they expecting? My whole thing is like undisputed young champion, beat one of the best pound for pounds in that time, and the whole thing now is I appreciate Triller, I appreciate the Zone, Top Rank for putting their bids in, and whoever else did. My whole thing is It's more so about what am I going to do, you know, and have that respect. I earned my stripe, but now with the Triller event, I'm going to earn another stripe in the social media world.
Teofimo, I heard two great quotes off you earlier. One of them was, you feel like, well, you are a $100 million star already. Talk to me about that, and when do you think the world will realise that?
My whole thing, you know, it's with time. You know, at the end of the day, this takes time. You know, you don't get 100 million overnight. You know, these are things that may take 10 years or so. But my whole thing is I have that mentality, and I call it out. I manifest it. And that's the whole thing, man. I'm very connected with all that's around me. And my whole thing at the end of the day is I called it out, man. I call out for a lot of things, you know. A lot of people doubted me when it came to the Lomachenko, you know, and seeing a young fighter, they don't know, though. I'm very smart up here, you know. But I like that. I like that many folks underestimate me. Keep that energy. It helps me. It motivates me. And at the end of the day, I couldn't do it without them. Getting to that point, I think the Triller event is what starts it.
The other quote that I heard you say, you feel like you was born in the wrong era, you wish you was around in the 70s, the 80s and the 90s. Can you just expand on that for me?
The truth meaning to it, man, is those guys did not care. Those phenomenal, I think those are the guys that are really the GOATs of the sport of boxing, the ones that really put that foundation for us. They showed us what that grit that you need, that heart. You need that heart. And if you don't got heart in this sport, you know, it shows, man. At the end of the day, you got to have that mentality. You know, I've grew up watching Rocky Marciano. I grew up watching Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard. The list goes on and on, Duran. And just seeing those guys, they didn't care. They were making money, but they wanted to fight each other. At the end of the day, they wanted to fight each other. A lot of folks don't know what Teofimo does. These guys had 4 months to throw a contract before my mandatory, and not one did. It's easy to talk on the internet. We all do it, right? But it's different when the paperwork and everything is coming. I'm not going to go to you. I have all the belts. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, this is all what it's all about. I'm going to focus on George Kambosos right now, get him out of the way, and then we could go back to talking about these other guys, and hopefully they'll step up to the plate.
Teofimo, I just do want to get your thoughts on the other guys. Firstly, for those who question if you are undisputed or not, Devin Haney obviously holds the WBC normal world title. What are your thoughts on people who question your legitimacy as the undisputed?
Just tune in, you know, June 19th. You know, people are going to talk, always, you know. And at the end of the day, I've learned that to not even entertain that. You know, I know what I did, and I know what I am. Even himself knows it. You know, even Devin Haney himself knows it. I am the undisputed lightweight world champion, and I will continue to be the undisputed lightweight world champion after June 19th.
You are in a terrific division with people who have spoken openly. I know you've been asked about it before. There's you, there's Ryan Garcia when he's obviously returns. Devin, as we mentioned, there's Gervonta Davis as well. You're successful on June 19th. Are you thinking about any of them guys, or are you looking at maybe a Taylor-Ramirez winner?
Whoever has the balls to step in that ring afterwards, whoever has the balls and that grit, who wants it that bad, who wants the glory? These guys chase the money. You know what I mean? The money's always going to run faster, and I try to show them that, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm going to continue doing what I got to do, and whoever's in front of me will beat them, whether it's the Haneys, the Garcias, the Tanks, the Ramirez, or the Taylors. You know, I want all those guys. You know, and I can't have them all at one night. I would love to, though. You know, I know I could take them all out. But at the end of the day, these things are certain things that got to be planned. But, you know, I'll be announcing that after my fight with Kambosos.
Does that mean you've got something in the pipeline?
I hope so. You know, I'm really hoping for it. You know, I'm hoping it for the fans. I'm all about the fans. You know, at the end of the day, I don't care. You know, I've been stuck. You know, not stuck, but I've been sticked about 2-3 times already. You know, and I think it's time that I get my respect.
I just want to get your thoughts on a few of those fighters because I have got fights up and coming. Firstly, Taylor-Ramirez, May 22nd next weekend. Your thoughts?
Just bring the belts, man, and let's make the fight happen. I don't care who wins. At the end of the day, those are the guys that I want to make history. I want to be the first male to do it. You know, Clarissa Shields did it as the first female in boxing and in the sport of boxing. You know, we can't divide that. You know, so just being whether the first male or the second person to do it, back-to-back undisputed, I would definitely love that.
What do you make of their fight, though, between Josh and Jose?
I think it'll be a phenomenal fight. It's a tremendous fight. You got two guys that are willing to put it in and put all the belts on the line, and, you know, winner takes all.
Your dad said to me earlier he'd love to get that fight with a winner of that, and he'd love for you to face him back in the UK. Yep. I asked him, would we see you in the UK? Is that something you're looking at as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to be in the UK. I want to be in Saudi Arabia. I want to fight in those areas that just I want to take over, not just the states here or not the cities here in the U.S. We want to take over the countries as well. We want to get back to everybody that supports us. You know, at the end of the day, that's what the takeover is all about. It's about giving back to the people that deserve it, and those that are real, true, die-hard fans like you guys in the UK, man. I love you guys. And the whole thing is all about giving that back. And if I could be there in my presence and show you guys in person what I'm all about, I'm definitely willing to do that.
Teofimo, I can certainly speak for the UK and say that everybody in the UK loves you as well. Moving forwards, May 29th, Devin Haney, Jorge Linares, your thoughts again? What do you expect from that fight?
My whole thing, I hope the best for both of those guys. I really want Devin Haney to do his thing, because at the end of the day, I want to cut his head off. So that's my whole mentality, man. I don't feel sorry for none of these guys, you know, but it's gonna be it's definitely a step up for Devin Haney. You know, Jorge Linares is a 4-time world champion, and you know, he's the guy that put Loma down on his ass once. So, you know, this guy knows what he's doing. Let's see what Devin Haney could bring to the table.
Now, Ryan Garcia, he's recently kind of taken a back step from boxing. I just want to get your thoughts on that as the undisputed champion, somebody in his weight class, somebody who's been spoken about as a potential fight for him. Just your thoughts on him speaking openly about his own struggles.
I think that it takes like I said before, a brave soul, but in reality, it just takes a brave person to do it. You know, a lot of folks don't understand what goes on for us as athletes. We're more than that. You know, we're more than an athlete. You know, at the end of the day, we have our own lives afterwards. I mean, I'm sure he has his 2 baby girls or two kids that he has to take care of, and on top of that, the pressure. You know, a lot of pressure for him. You know, but the whole thing is all about balancing it up here, and I think that's what he's doing right now, and it's good for him. I don't agree on him taking a break off. You know, because I was going through it with Loma and before camp, and I worked on it throughout the whole camp. But everybody's different. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what was going on, but it's good for him. I'm glad and I'm happy, and I hope that he could come back, you know, full recovered and 100%.
Now, Canelo Alvarez, somebody who I remember after his fight with Callum Smith came to you ringside and spoke to you. He was victorious this past weekend. What did you make of his win against Billy Joe?
Now, you know, I think it's phenomenal. It shows the work ethic that he's putting in, fighting 3 times already within the mass of 6 months. I mean, and this guy doesn't even have to. He makes so much money doing it, but it's because he enjoys it. You know, he has that passion and that motivation. You know, a lot of people took my tweet wrong. You know, it's all about I got to stay focused too. I have a fight myself. I can't go out there and get back to that person right now. But, you know, it's all due respect, you know, and I respect Canelo and what he's doing. And to me, he is the pound-for-pound king right now.
Just as a fighter, I just want to get your thoughts on some comments towards Billy Joe. Some people saying he quit on the night. He was pulled out by his corner there. Just your thoughts on that as a fellow fighter.
It's very easy to talk when you're not in there. You know, you don't know what the person is going through, and they never took a punch in their face, you know, to even know how that feels. Or a punch of Canelo's, you know. So Billy Joe did, you know, they did what he had to do. Yeah, I think if they would have kept the fight going, he probably would have been blind on one eye. You know, so people don't understand that. You know, this is a tough sport. People die in this sport. You know, so the whole thing, and I don't like to go dark about it, but you know, at the end of the day, we risk our lives. So whether he's quit on the stool or not, that guy gets to live another day.
One other fight up at heavyweight, I want to get your thoughts on. It's been spoken about for ages. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. If that one's over the line, Teofimo, what do you think happens?
Man, the fans get the. That fight is gonna happen. I know it, and for me, man, that's a win for all of us. Just the announcement alone, and I love both of those guys, man. I think they're tremendous fighters, and honestly, man, may the best man win. I can't decide on it. They're both phenomenal fighters, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Undisputed again. I mean, we finally gonna get an undisputed heavyweight world champion. You know?
All right, Teofimo, I want to leave a final word to yourself before I leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. For all of your fans around the world, for everybody who will tune in and watch your fight against Jorge Kambosos Jr., what would you like to say to them?
To everyone, man, this is the takeover. Teofimo, we came here, we're coming to conquer. And the whole thing is to tune in June 19th. It's Juneteenth Day, Freedom Day, and it's going to be live on Triller. And it'll definitely be a great one to watch. Watch it on Fight TV. You guys could definitely tune in on there. It'll be on pay-per-view. And Jorge Kambosos, Teofimo Lopez, undisputed lightweight world title defense. It's going to be a great one. We're going to have a tremendous show. You guys don't want to miss this. Trust me, Triller, they know what they're doing, and it's going to be a full fight card. It won't be no hoax, no YouTubers involved. It will be a full, they're trying to make this a full boxing thing.
Teofimo, it's been an absolute pleasure to watch you train today, to interview you and spend a bit of time around you. I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you, Boxing Social. This is Teofimo Lopez, undisputed lightweight world champion. Tune in.